Some students are apprehensive or scared or nervous about learning statistics. They might carry stories with them that they've been told or messages that they've internalized that statistics is hard or that they're not good at math, or that it's a topic that's just hard to grasp. None of that is true. Statistics is actually pretty straightforward. It's actually pretty logical. And if you can drop some of the fear and address it with a radical curiosity, it can be a really fun course. I found a reading a long time ago, Survival Tips for Students for Introduction to Statistics course. And it's a bullet pointed list of some very basic tips that I found are useful for students as they do this class. One of the tips is to monitor your learning, and that's just take some basic responsibility for what you do in the class. Keep track of how many minutes you spend reading. Keep track of how many minutes you spend playing with data. Keep track of how much time you spend talking about the course or researching in other places, and hold yourself accountable to doing the amount of work that's required for this course. If you fail this course, if you don't learn this stuff, it's not your fault. It's my fault. Now you have to do the work, but I'm going to help you do the work to learn what you need to learn. Another really important thing in this class is you have to keep up. You have to keep up. Statistics is cumulative. It's like a Spanish class. If you go into the final and you don't remember what hola means, you're in trouble. If you get into the final in this class and you don't remember what a mean is, you're going to be in trouble. So keep up. Don't get behind. When you have questions, when something is unclear, or when you're unsure about a certain concept, raise your hand and say, I want to make sure that this is cemented before I go on. Another tip is to be prepared to make mistakes and to take risks. I'm a pretty chill guy, but one of my few pet peeves is when someone calls me and says, hey, Tibor, what would happen if I did X? What happens if I press this button? What happens if I run this command in my software? And I just want to say, just do it. What's the worst thing that could happen? Nobody died, right? Nobody died. The only thing that's the end of the world is the end of the world. So try it. Make mistakes. This is how we learn. Experiment. Go outside of your comfort zone. Play around. You have free reign to do that in this course. Do it. Another tip is that you really need to seek understanding versus rote memorization. Anybody can memorize anything. This is the idea of Bloom's taxonomy. Is the lowest level of knowledge is just spitting out facts or recognizing facts. But we really want to move up this list and get skills, integration, synthesis, comprehension, understanding. For many of you, this is difficult because I'm going to say right now something that you're not familiar with or not, you can't really, it's going to be hard for you to do it. But say this out loud. Grades don't matter. Grades don't matter. Try to study to learn, not for a grade, but study for learning. And then you will actually understand the material. Another tip on this list is be aware that statistics is not a math class. This can be really good if you have any math anxiety at all. And about 10% of students that I've worked with have some sort of math anxiety. Some sort of emotional component gets into the way of learning. In order for your brain to change, for you to learn, you have to feel safe. You have to feel that you can take risks and make mistakes and everything will be okay. And I'll tell you right now, everything will be okay. But you have to let the anxiety go aside. And if you're afraid about math, don't worry. There's not a lot of math in this class. The flip side is if you're excited about this class because you're really good at math, you might suck at statistics. That's good, right? That's good too. Now, another tip on here, there may be more than one answer to a problem. There may be more than one way to solve something. There may be more than one approach. Everything is not in black and white. This can be frustrating for some students, but this is called real life. There may be more than one answer to a problem. Sometimes there actually might be no answer to a problem. Sometimes a question is so dumb or so inappropriately applied that there's no answer to it. I love to ask questions on quizzes and on exams where the answer is, hey, that's a really dumb question. That question doesn't even make any sense. Again, this is real life. You're going to have to identify these situations. Maybe the most important tip is practice. You've got to practice, practice, and practice. This is a skill. Skills can only be honed, only be learned one way. You should get your hands on every data set that you can and analyze it. You should watch other people do it. There are more data sets out there than there are people who know what they're doing with them. That's why this is such a great skill that you're learning. That's why you should be excited about being able to go into your resume or your CV or LinkedIn or whatever and say, hey, I know how to do this. But in order to say I know how to do this, you got to practice. Another tip is to keep your sense of humor. I'm not funny. If I were funny, I would try to use humor to assuage people's anxiety and to present material. I don't have the ability to do that. So maybe you can help bring that out in this class. Another tip on this list is to be patient with yourself. Don't go easy on yourself, but be soft with yourself. This is a new thing. It's hard to learn. It might be totally different from other topics that you've studied. It's kind of like learning a new language. You might be learning in a language that's not your native language and now learning another language. It's okay. Be patient. And then the last few tips on this thing are ask questions. Ask questions. Ask. That's what we're here for you to ask questions, to guide you on this path of learning these skills. So ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask for help and use all the additional resources that you have available to you. Those are some good tips for helping you to take this opportunity to really use this course as a growth opportunity and to get the competencies and skills that you want and that you'll need going forward. Thank you.